Pasta Amatriciana. This would be my last meal on planet Earth if I absolutely had to pick. Classic Roman pasta along with carbonara and cacio e pepe. It's an incredibly simple recipe, no more than 5 ingredients. Principally, you've got the tomato sauce, the pig cheek or the guanciale, and then the Pecorino Romano, which is a sheep's milk cheese. The recipe originates from a city called Amatrice, that's in fact its namesake, Amatriciana, Amatrice, and it's a small hamlet about 2 hours driving from Rome. And the people there are fiercely protective over the original recipe. You do have the option of adding chili flake and white wine as you're making the sauce, but no more than that. In fact, there is a chef in Italy, he's a Michelin star chef named Carlo Cracco, who at one point said his secret ingredient was garlic. And this threw the people of Amatrice into uproar. In fact, the mayor made a statement saying that garlic belongs nowhere near pasta amatriciana. So we're gonna make that today. It's going to be delightfully simple and hopefully something you can enjoy.
All right, let's talk ingredients. Amatriciana works well with short pasta, such as rigatoni or mezze maniche, but today I'm using long pasta, Seggiano spaghetti alla chitarra, which are made in Tuscany and have a nice bite. These can be found at any Whole Foods in America, and you can order them online. Now, my tomato sauce is made in my Nonna Lina's basement kitchen, usually on a single day in August, and we make all the sauce my family will use the whole year. This passata is made with whole tomatoes, cooked down with basil and white onion. You can also food mill a can of San Marzano tomatoes, or, in a pinch, my Italian friends have told me they'll use a jar of muti. This is followed by the Pecorino Romano cheese and the guanciale.
I mentioned the tomato sauce, I mentioned the Pecorino Romano cheese, but to me, the essential ingredient here really is the guanciale. Now this is pig cheek, and I do mean pig cheek, that's not a joke, it's not a euphemism, this is literally the side of the pig's face. If that bothers you, then you can sub this out for pancetta, you can even use bacon, even though I would recommend that if you use bacon, you use one that's not smoked and has as little sugar as possible. Or you could think of this as the pig's butt cheek, up to you. But we're going to cut this and it's gonna form the beginnings of our amatriciana sauce.
The key is to match the size of your cuts to the shape of the pasta. We are having long pasta, so my cuts are more elongated. If we were having, say, rigatoni, I would make more cube-like strips to better facilitate pieces of guanciale going inside the pasta. You basically want to maximize the flavor in each bite. Now it's time to grate the Pecorino Romano. This is a salty cheese, and it's got 2 roles. First, it helps create the sauce alongside the guanciale fat, the tomato sauce, and pasta water. Second, it's a finishing touch once the amatriciana is plated. You want about half a cup of pecorino for every 2 plates of pasta.
You're looking for a very fine kind of texture. You don't want it to be like that stringy grated kind because it won't emulsify into the sauce as easily. It should be just like snow.
All right, let's talk pasta water. Bring a cold pot to a boil. Be sure to salt it. The pasta needs to be seasoned regardless of how salty the other ingredients are. Next, arrange your guanciale in a cold pan. I usually aim for 12 to 15 pieces of guanciale per plate. Remember, you don't need to use olive oil. As the pan heats up, it will render the fat out of the guanciale. The same is true for pancetta and bacon, by the way. Once the guanciale is golden brown and the fat is rendered, set it aside. Add white wine to the fat left over from the guanciale renderings. This is optional, but I like to use about 1/4 cup. I aim to find a wine from the Lazio region, which is where Rome is located. This waving around you see isn't gesticulation. I'm wafting the steam from the pan into my nose. If it gives your nostrils a kind of harsh sensation, it means the alcohol hasn't evaporated. You want to keep checking on this until all the alcohol cooks off, so you can add your tomato sauce. When the water reaches a boil and your tomato sauce has begun cooking with the guanciale fat and white wine, add your pasta in. You want the sauce to cook down a decent amount. Don't be afraid to really cook it down. You can always add pasta water to loosen it up again. I generally cook the pasta 2 minutes under the package instructions. These spaghetti have a cook time of 12 to 14 minutes, so I set my kitchen timer to 10. I strongly recommend testing your spaghetti before you add them to the sauce. By the way, I never use a colander to drain the water. I like to fish the pasta out with kitchen tongs and have all the water left over. Mix the pasta with the sauce on low heat. Now, a lot of people stop here, but you need to let the sauce emulsify. Take your pecorino and slowly add it to the pasta. I like to add pecorino in 3 waves, stirring vigorously between each wave and adding pasta water as needed. You'll know the sauce is formed once the color and consistency change. The pasta water and the pecorino will slightly taper the red hue of the sauce, and you will have emulsified the mixture. To plate this, use your kitchen tongs and grab a substantial heap of the spaghetti. Twirl it in your ladle, then gently place it in the middle of the bowl. Scoop up the remnants of the pan with a ladle or a slotted spoon. Now I know some people add the guanciale while the pasta is being mixed, but I personally don't like to do this because the guanciale loses its crispness. This is completely up to you though. Lastly, finish off with some finely grated pecorino and you are ready to enjoy.
I made a mess out of the kitchen, but it was totally worth it. Tastes just like Rome. There's a reason this is my favorite pasta.